Why is it that so many men walk away from potentially great relationships because they misread the signals? Have you ever found yourself confused, frustrated, or even angry when a woman seems to be sending mixed messages? You thought things were going well, and suddenly she pulls back, asks challenging questions, or creates unexpected situations that leave you wondering what went wrong. But what if I told you she's not playing games at all? What if these moments that feel like manipulation are actually something much deeper? Something that could determine whether your relationship has any chance of surviving in the long run? Think about it. From childhood, women are taught, both explicitly and implicitly, to be cautious about who they let into their lives. They learn through experience, through stories, through warnings passed down from mothers and friends. And for good reason. The wrong relationship choice doesn't just mean a broken heart. It can mean years of emotional damage, financial strain, or even physical danger. So when she tests you, she's not being childish. She's not trying to manipulate you. She's doing something profoundly important. She's attempting to see who you really are beyond the carefully crafted image most men present during the early stages of dating. These tests aren't about winning or losing. They're about truth. They're about safety. They're about whether you're the person you claim to be when no one's looking, when things get difficult, or when your ego gets bruised. You were taught that games are immature, that straightforward communication is the mark of an adult relationship. And there's truth in that. But you were never taught to distinguish between someone playing games and someone making sure you're safe to be vulnerable with. The most common response to these tests is frustration. Why can't she just be direct? You might ask. Why does everything have to be so complicated? This frustration comes from a fundamental misunderstanding. You're interpreting her behavior through your lens, your experiences, your relative freedom from the concerns that shape her reality. But here's where many men go wrong. Instead of recognizing these moments as opportunities to demonstrate who they really are, they get defensive. They withdraw. They match perceived gameplaying with actual gameplaying. And in doing so, they fail the very test that could have led to deeper connection. So what are these tests, and how can you recognize them? Sometimes she'll deliberately create distance to see how you respond. Will you respect her space or become clingy and demanding? She's not testing your patience. She's testing your security in yourself and your respect for her boundaries. She might bring up a controversial topic to see how you handle disagreement. Do you listen to understand or just to respond? Can you engage with different perspectives without becoming combative? This isn't about whether you agree with her. It's about whether you can navigate conflict with maturity. Perhaps she'll mention an issue she's having with a friend or colleague. Your response reveals volumes. Do you immediately jump to solutions, dismissing her feelings? Or do you listen, empathize, and only then ask if she wants advice? She's assessing your emotional intelligence and whether you'll be a partner who truly sees her. She might even test your honesty in small ways, not because she's trying to catch you in a lie, but because she's trying to determine if you're someone who defaults to truth even when it's inconvenient. These moments might feel frustrating, even unfair, but consider what's at stake for her. Women enter relationships with a different calculus of risk than men do. The potential downsides are steeper, the consequences of choosing poorly more severe. Now, I'm not suggesting that all behavior framed as testing is healthy. There's a critical difference between someone trying to understand who you truly are and someone who uses manipulation as a form of control. The former comes from a place of self-protection, the latter from insecurity or a desire for power. So how can you tell the difference? Healthy testing is consistent but not constant. It doesn't escalate over time, and it doesn't come with punishment if you fail. Instead, it's a natural part of the getting to know you process that gradually fades as trust is established. And how should you respond when you recognize you're being tested? The answer is surprisingly simple. Be authentic. Don't try to calculate the right response. Don't perform. Instead, use these moments as opportunities to show who you really are, the good, the imperfect, the true. If she creates distance, resist the urge to either chase desperately or withdraw completely. Instead, communicate your desire to connect while respecting her space. I miss you and would love to see you when you're ready. Take the time you need. Then, actually give her that time without resentment. If she challenges your views, engage thoughtfully rather than defensively. Show that you can hold your own perspectives while still valuing hers. Demonstrate that disagreement doesn't have to mean discord. When she shares problems, fight the masculine instinct to immediately solve. Sometimes she's not looking for solutions. She's looking for understanding. Listen fully before asking, "Are you looking for suggestions, or would you just like me to listen?" That simple question displays emotional intelligence that many men never develop. And when tested on your honesty, choose integrity even when it would be easier not to. Small lies erode trust in ways that are hard to repair. Remember, she's not looking for perfection. She's looking for someone who owns both their strengths and their flaws. The men who view these tests as unreasonable games are often the same men who wonder why they can't form lasting connections. They fail to understand that trust isn't an automatic right. It's something earned through consistent behavior over time. But here's the part that many people miss. This testing goes both ways. You should also be assessing whether she's the right partner for you. Does she communicate her needs clearly, even when it's difficult? Does she take responsibility for her actions, or does she blame others when things go wrong? Does she respect your boundaries as much as she expects you to respect hers? A healthy relationship isn't about passing every test with flying colors. It's about two people who continue showing up authentically, even when it would be easier to hide behind facades or walk away entirely. The woman who tests you isn't playing games. She's inviting you to prove that you're different from those who came before and hurt her. She's offering you the chance to show that you're someone who can be trusted with her feelings, her body, her future, her heart. And yes, sometimes these tests will feel uncomfortable. Growth usually does. But consider the alternative, a relationship built on projection and performance rather than genuine understanding. That kind of foundation crumbles the moment real challenges arrive. So the next time you feel tested by someone you're dating, take a breath before reacting. Ask yourself, what is she really trying to learn about me here? And then show her the truth, whatever that may be. Because authentic connection never comes from scoring perfect points. It comes from being seen fully and accepted anyway. The woman who tests you isn't your adversary in a game. She's someone trying to determine if you're a partner worth investing in. And if you are who you claim to be, if your actions align with your words, if you can respond to uncertainty with grace rather than defensiveness, you won't just pass her tests. You'll make her question whether she needs to test you at all. And that's when the real relationship begins. Not one of perpetual evaluation, but of growing trust. Not one of performance, but of authentic presence. Not one of games, but of genuine connection. Because at the end of the day, we're all looking for the same thing. Someone we can trust enough to finally put down our shields. Someone who makes us feel that it's safe to be exactly who we are. Someone who sees our tests not as obstacles to overcome, but as invitations to prove that real love is possible. And that's something worth being tested for.